And let's talk about Alan Cumming, who's finally speaking out regarding the whole BAFTAs thing. So the BAFTAs happened about a week ago, but now I guess he's feeling compelled to come out and give a little commentary on what regarding the aftermath. So BAFTAs host Alan Cumming took the IG on Monday, which was yesterday, to address the outbursts of Tourette's campaigner John Davison at the 79th edition of the ceremony, during which he shouted the N-word while sinners, well, he said nigga bitch, while sinners star Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage. Now, I do have his Instagram post, so hold on as I pull that up. And he said the following. He said, it's now a week since I hosted the BAFTAs. What should have been an evening celebrating creativity and inclusion turned into a trauma triggering shit show. I'm so sorry for all the pain Black people have felt at hearing that word echoed around the world. I'm so sorry the Tourette's community has been reminded of the lack of understanding and tolerance that abounds regarding their condition. And with him saying that, it's literally like two things can be true at the same time. I don't feel like that they genuinely, the BAFTAs handled this relatively well. Yeah, they put out the disclaimer, oh, we're going to have somebody in the audience who has Tourette's and that sort of thing. And one of the things I was saying before, let me get to the finish this and then get to the other point. We have somebody in the audience who has Tourette's, so everybody should be mindful of what it is that he's going to say or whatever triggers, whatever the case is. But also, you getting a lashing, a Black person, Black people, because it was two, having to endure this, hearing this word when throughout their lives they probably had to hear being called that word by some asshole racist on the street or for whatever reason. Oh, you're an N-word, you're this and that. And Black people had to endure dealing with that word all their lives. So there's a trigger there. And one of the things about people with Tourette's, they're their mind makes them say the thing that you should not say. So trying to have an understanding of people with Tourette's, I get that. I blame the BAFTAs and I blame BBC. They should have edited it out. Just like if y'all had no problem editing out, and I want to get his name because I mentioned him so many times on this show, but I've never said his name. Um, Akinola Davies Jr. He was a two-time Emmy winner. Oh wait, no, the two-time Emmy winner was Cumming. Um, there was a director that did a movie called My Father's Shadow, and he did a speech about it was a bunch of things that he was talking about, like the genocide and all those other stuff. Said free Palestine. That was edited, that was cut out. Other things were cut out, but you left nigga up in there. This is what we doing in 2026. So it's okay for them to hear that word. And funny enough, this is the most press and attention that the BAFTAs has gotten ever. So I could definitely see why they probably looked at this as this is publicity for us. And and I guess the old saying is any publicity is good publicity. But in this case, no. But he also went on to say this. The only possible good that could come from this, come out, wait, sorry, that could come of this is a reminder that words matter, that rushing to judgment about things in which we are not fully cognizant is folly, and all trauma must be recognized and honored. And the fact of the matter that you didn't protect Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo from hearing that from that word and warning them of what was about to transpire, whatever the case was. And you also didn't protect John Davison because of his condition, knowing full and well what his condition was. And the fact that y'all placed a microphone next to him so that way y'all could pick up on those cues because he can't suppress the words that he's gonna say because they said if you because from somebody like Jumaane Williams, who's a politician out of New York who suffers from Tourette's, he gave a thorough understanding of what Tourette's is and the different levels and the different things and the harm reduction and all that stuff that goes with it. When I was watching this interview with Ebro Laura Rosenberg, I think it was one of the episodes from last week. It might have been Thursday or Wednesday, whatever. If you want, definitely look it up on YouTube and try to get an understanding. So me, instead of me just flaunting them, and it's like, yeah, it's a big. It's an immediate reaction when someone, if you're going to hear the N word, what you automatically think, oh, he's got to be racist. And I think it's because we've been so bombarded with a lot of hatred and vitriol and racism in our politics, especially with the current regime using racism and all these other things as a distraction while they rape and pillage, metaphorically and literally, um, and suck this country dry of its resources. So they want us to be fighting amongst each other with the racism and saying trans people are trying to go up in your bathrooms and do all this other mess, or the immigrants are stealing your jobs or whatever the case. So all these distractions, all of this comes from our current situation we're in. And when you're a person of color and you have to endure, when you're an other, and you have to endure hearing this shit every day, automatically you're gonna lean right into, oh, this person might be a racist. When maybe they're not. They probably don't have any kind of racism in their heart. They have a condition. It'd be interesting for doctors to go in and be like, what causes people with Tourette's to say some of the most derogatory things, particularly if you're going to say something derogatory towards a woman, towards gay people, towards black people, towards anybody who is an other, towards a Jewish person, whatever the case is. That's what got me interested in wanting to learn more about Tourette's. Like, what causes, I've always, just in general, what causes people to do the things that they do, or what makes their mind tick and that sort of thing. Maybe that's why I'm into serial killers or, with those true crime podcasts. So yeah, and then I think, so what was it? Oh yeah, there was another piece. So some people was in the comments. One person said absolutely none of this was your fault, and yet you have provided the most eloquent apology of all. Well, I think what people were pissed off about Alan comment is that they felt like he was excusing the guy's behavior. I don't know if maybe he was told to say that on a teleprompter, or this was just a reactionary thing because they realized, like, oh god, the shit done hit the fan. So I don't necessarily know, but I think that's what people were pissed off about. They felt that it was like you were kind of being dismissive of Michael and Delroy's feelings on how they received it. I had somebody in my comments and I was this close to cussing their ass, but I was like, you a public figure. You can't be on here cussing people out in the comments, especially when they leave. I just hid them and removed their posts because they said some shit on this, like, people got to be stop being so sensitive about words or whatever. First of all, you don't get to dictate and control and tell people, particularly black people, on how to feel about being called a derogatory word that carries centuries of hate. Not nigga wasn't built yesterday. That word didn't come out of somebody's ass yesterday. That is tied to slavery. That is tied to a lot of different things that's going on in the world. And that word carries weight and is traumatic for a lot of people, particularly black people up today and ancestors. All of that shit rolled down for over 400 years. So to tell people to not get all their titties in a twist over a word, who the fuck are you to say that? Worry about yourself. Now, if somebody said something derogatory towards you, I hope you have that same damn energy. So, also Cumming said that look, they said the BAFTAs did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comment after what he said. Of course not. Fuck the BAFTAs. Cumming also added that he felt let down that the BBC allowed the N-word to be audible on air while at the same time choosing to censor free speech because of the whole thing I told you about Akinola Davies with the Free Palestine situation. And Cumming basically said congratulations to all the BAFTA award winners. I don't think he'll be going back to doing the next year. There's some girl in there is like, what happened? Sis, have you been living under a rock? Um, so yeah, let me see what else the people are saying on here before we move on. Another person, oh Alan, as a fan, I'm disappointed mostly with BAFTA/BBC, but at your immediate response as well. See, this is what I was talking about. It said, thank you for finally saying something about the black community that was also affected by what happened. Let me like that post because I agree with her. So um and they also censored Free Palestine, but not that. Yeah, well, we know he mentioned that in his post on Instagram. Another person said, as a disabled person myself with a neurological condition, my heart goes out to John, Michael, Delroy, and Hannah. Oh yeah, because Hannah was someone who worked on centers that was also called the N word. The black and disabled community should not be punched punching across, but instead joining together and punch upwards at the people who put our communities in this position in the first place. More needs to be done to respect each other's identities and conditions. So, like I said before, it's with anything, I am more upset at Alan Cummings' immediate response, which pissed me off, and the how the BAFTAs and the BBC still try to handle this situation. They try to walk it back, but it's like, you made your bed. We see what y'all was doing. There's no coming back from it. Fuck y'all and your tired ass award show. And we'll see if any black movies get nominated next season, if a lot of you same step and fetches will head up over there and still support the BAFTAs, especially when they showed you how they truly feel about y'all. So, but look, Alan walked it back. He came in and he said what he said on social media. And I truly believe that he's genuine with what his post basically said. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the BAFTAs and Alan Cumming calling it a shit show after the whole N-word situation? So whatever your thoughts are, and it damn sure was, because we pretty much unpacked it all and said it was nothing but a shit show. Let me know what you think of this story in the comments down below.